Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Get Right with DigiByte. My name's Mike, and it's another fantastic day on the DigiByte blockchain. And in today's video, we're going to take a first look at the DGMV-ID Suite, the all-in-one authenticator app from DigiCorp Labs. There's a lot of things I really like about this app, and we're going to get into some details and kind of get beneath the hood and explain how some of this stuff works. And also, I'm going to walk through a setup of how to use the password manager for one of my online accounts and how to connect your 2FA to that account within the app, which I think is an absolute game changer. Now, just in the interest of disclosure and to be transparent about everything, I am an ambassador for DigiCorp Labs, and of course, here I am producing a video for their YouTube channel, so there will be some bias, but as always, just do your own research. We'll put all the links down below. I'm just here to provide some information and walk through some of the details of this app, and but I'm genuinely excited for this app, as someone who uses an authenticator daily for my, day job. I see this tool as a bridge across from the Web 2 to Web 3 universe. And, I'm very excited to see the evolution of these tools because it will provide the user more control of their data and hopefully provide, more privacy and more security as we move forward. The app is available free for download from the iOS App Store and the Google Play Store. And you also have browser extensions for Firefox, Chrome, and Microsoft Edge. We'll talk about more of those in just a few minutes. But the apps are free for download. Many features are free to use once you've downloaded and installed the app on your device. There are other features such as the password manager, which do require a license. Now you can subscribe to that license by making a purchase through the app stores, or if you're a holder of the DGMV token, we'll put a link below to this site here, which allows users to access a license for their own devices, so they can take a look at all the features on this app. There's a lot of things I really enjoy about this app. First thing I like most about it is that, it uses DigiByte wallet technology in its app. Anytime you create a wallet, it's creating addresses and private keys on the DigiByte blockchain. Of course, DigiByte is, one of the most secure blockchains in the world. It's the longest UTXO in existence. It has a lot of innovative features such as real-time difficulty adjustment, decentralized mining. So it's the perfect foundation for an app like this. And one, point of clarification I do want to make is that the DGMV-ID app is a BIP 39 compliant wallet. You get a 24-word seed phrase, so it's a little different than the DigiByte mobile wallets in that regard. Those of you who've been following that know that those wallets have seen their better days and are not to be used for a growing list of reasons. So another thing I really like about this app is that, it looks fantastic. It's very sleek, very well designed, and it's very intuitive. It moves very smoothly, and both the iOS and the Android version are essentially identical. Sometimes there's differences between the two platforms, but in this case, the team has done a really good job of matching all the elements between the two different platforms. Now, look, I realize this sort of thing is secondary, to the function of the app itself. Does it work when it needs to work? And, is it safe? Is it secure? But I think it does show that, a lot of thought went behind the app. I do want to mention there are two versions of the app. There's the consumer version, which we will be focusing on today in this video, but they also have an enterprise version, which provides not only the app for individual devices, but also has an administrative dashboard. So if you're an IT manager, or if you own a business and you want to be able to delegate different levels of access to whether it's computer servers or access to physical locations like different buildings or rooms within buildings, then you can do so with that dashboard. And joining us now is Jan Muyldermans to give us a closer look at the DGMV-ID Suite administrative dashboard, as well as the additional identity providers. Jan, thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. I'm glad to be here in this This wonderful place. So yeah, I'm gonna show some demonstrations about the product that we have been developed. As you know, I was part of the DigiByte awareness team in that time, still are. And that the first time I met the DigiByte group, I saw the DGID. And then we, as a developer, I saw the opportunity to do a lot of things with it. Then we started also Anthem in that time. And then from that on, we created a product together with some people in the community. One of the products was the Anthem ID itself, of course, and the DG password. And we created my DG password so that it was very easy to use for generating passwords and to use it on websites. That's how it all started. And then we have the ability to extend this technology with our friends from DigiCorp Labs, and they asked if we can join us, and I gladly did to do it. So I'm very happy that I'm here today and to explain what products that we have been developed. We worked very hard with our team, so I'm very eager to show you which products we have developed in that time. So I will start right away, I think, with some demonstrations. Yeah.
Okay, let's take a look here. We'll bring your screen on board.
The administrator has actually a dashboard where you can add the employees of the company. So I am an administrator at this time. I just log in. You, of course, using DGMV-ID to sign in. So I accept. And I'm automatically signed in into the enterprise dashboard. Now you can see that we are using actually a new sort of license. It's called seed phrase licenses. That means a company can buy, for example, 20 seed phrases, and that means you can actually use 20 wallets. 20 wallets, but 20 wallets could be 30 devices, 40 devices, because you can install a seed phrase on multiple devices. Could be that an administrator wants to have an extra smartphone device. In case of he loses the other one, then he still has capability to sign in into the dashboard. For example, just giving a certain explanation for that. So you can see in an overview how many seed phrases I have. I have using 1 out of 20. 2 devices are protected. I can set the amount of devices within my company. It's just a simple stuff, but gives you a view of what you can do. Then we have, of course, the license information. Then we can, of course, add multiple administrators. So we can easily add an administrator, just enter the email address and the name and the employee ID. And after that, the new administrator will receive an email. Then he needs to sign this with his DGMV-ID app. Afterwards, the other administrator has to activate it and confirm. And after that, the other administrator can use the dashboard. And it's the same for the users. The users are actually the employees that need to use the DGMV password within a company. So you as an IT expert, you want to add DGMV-ID password within your company. All the employees need to sign up for that service, and you can easily manage this, and you can see if they are using it, of course. Once that it's happened, you can see that I have here 2 devices that I use. I have my wallet and my email address. And then what you can see is actually the usage overview. So I can easily see on which websites I used it within my company. And it's not a spying tool, of course, but it's actually to see if you're following the policy of the company. For example, there is a website that's been used within a company, and you want to see that, I want to have actually that everyone is using 2FA on that website. And now you can easily see that, for example, I'm using dbservice.net, that 2FA is being used for that website. So I can easily see which persons don't do that. And I easily can extract this and create a list out of that. It's actually for your own protection within your company that you can follow up these stuff. The good thing is also that the same wallet can also be used personally, and this will be not listed, of course, into this list. They can use the same app on their local machine at home, for example. It's not any problem. So they can use both license systems together. Of course, there is a log for that message, so we can see what admin has done, what kind of actions they have been doing. So that's quite simple. And of course, in the future, now it's DGMV password. We will have multiple products within a few months from now on, and they will all be located in this dashboard. Now it's only DGMV password, but it could be that we have an app, for example, for open doors within a company, open real doors, so that you can manage doors within this platform also. But now I'm gonna continue to show you actually the identity provider. Now, actually, the identity provider, most of the people are using, for example, I'll just give an example. Within a company, you have it Office 365. And most of those companies use actually then the Microsoft authentication. It's actually a sort of identity provider, but it's Azure ID, it's your Azure account, and it's linked to your organization. Now, what happens is that a company using that Office 365, you sign in with your email address from your company, and it's been deployed on the Azure environment from Microsoft. And that means that once you signed in there, they have access to all the products they use within a company. And that's the identity provider from Microsoft with just the ordinary stuff. So you can do the Office 365 thing like Outlook, Word, Teams. It's all included in there. Now, we have actually created the identity provider to have actually a third or a fourth or a fifth or a sixth layer to insane security, actually. You can use actually also the Microsoft login as the standard login. And after that, you have to verify with your DGMV-ID to continue. But also it can be used when you have just an ordinary WordPress website and you want to use DGMV-ID, but you don't have the capability to develop something for that, or other products that just don't have the capability to change something in the login sequence, then you just need the OpenID Connect plugins. And once you have that, it's actually in the identity provider, you can create keys for that, and you can easily integrate it in every product that use OpenID Connect as a standard. That means in virtually that you can use DGMV-ID an insane list of products. So this is the enabler that we needed to have, to have DGMV-ID on a broad scale. So that means that the DGID actually is now on every authentication mechanism that you can dream of. So it's very awesome that we did it.
Yeah, Jan, let me, if we can expand on that a little bit, because, a lot of times I go to websites and it'll have a couple fields for username and password, and then it'll have options to like log in with, for example, Facebook credentials or my Google credentials. It has different choices of which, existing accounts you might have that you can use to log in or authenticate with. So are you saying that through the Identity Connect that you can, a DGMV-ID will then be an option as well, along with all those others? Wow. Okay. Very nice.
People will now have the capability to actually add a third button to their website, and they don't have to develop anything. They're just creating keys. They have the option login with Microsoft, login with Facebook, and then they have connect with DGMV-ID.
Well, Jan, thanks again for taking the time to join us today. As part of this demonstration, it's been fantastic. Look forward to talking with you again in the future as more and more products and features get released and rolled out. And, hopefully we have another opportunity to dive in and you can give some updated demos as well. So thanks again, Jan. Have a great afternoon, and we'll talk soon.
Okay, thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye.
So DGMV-ID grants consumers and businesses passwordless, username-free entry to Web3 and Web2 platforms by providing multi-factor authentication with QR codes and biometrics all in a single seamless app. And what's unique about DGMV-ID is that it utilizes a part of your seed phrase with the individual website that you're visiting. So every password that you use for a specific site is unique, not only to that user, but also to that website, and making it completely unique to anything else. Okay, so now we're going to set up our password manager and connect our 2FA to that same online account. So here we are at the SoCalGas.com website. For those of us in Southern California, this is the company that provides us with natural gas to heat our homes, cook our food, etc. And, it's like most, online accounts, as you can see, you need to provide a username and a password, typical Web 2 stuff. As you can see here, it's got a little DigiCorp Labs logo here, which is very neat and very useful. We'll talk about that in just a minute once we get into the website and we can update it with our password from our DGMV-ID app. So I'm going to go and just log in here. Here's my email and password. So press enter. Now we are into the website. And I've got a balance due as usual. We'll pay that later. What I want to do at this point is go to manage my account, and we want to go into select login and security. And as you can see down below, it's got an option to enable two-factor authentication, which we'll do that next. So first thing we want to do is change password. So click here, and I want to type in, again, my current password here. And then for new password, we want to fill up this field and the confirm new password with the password from our DGMV-ID app. So first thing I want to do is go to the password accounts on the app and open that up. And as you can see, there's already, it says one user under SoCal Gas. So I've already added this, and I went in and kind of undid it just for the purpose of demonstration. So what I want to do is hit the little plus sign in the bottom right corner of the app. And it says password accounts. To add a password generator account, you can either use the QR code scanner or enter the secret manually. So obviously QR code scanner will be much easier. So what I want to do is you either go to this little extension icon up here and select DGMV-ID, or as I mentioned before, there's these little icons down here with the DigiCorp Labs logo. You can click on that, and that'll open up this little pop-up window here of the QR code. So on my app, I want to click the button that says QR scanner. That opens up the camera. I'm going to scan this QR code. And here it says trusted domain. You are generating a password for a trusted domain, myaccount.socalgas.com. So it says choose the username you'd like to generate a password for. Again, it's just my email address. That's my username. And then we just want to hit the plus sign. So this will add it. So now that's how you add the account to your DGMV-ID app connected to the account of SoCalGas.com. Next, you want to go over to Authenticator and Login, and then load up the camera again, and then you scan the QR code, and then the app will ask you, is this, what you want to log into? You just tap into it, and then it will send the data. Your password has been generated. So now I want to go over here. I want to hit copy password, and then I want to just paste that into both fields for new password and for confirm password. Of course, it meets all the criteria for, minimum of 10 characters, uppercase, lowercase, one number, and then you want to hit submit. And now it says success. Your password has been successfully changed. So now if I go to log out, and we're back to the login screen, and I can just hit on this DigiCorp Labs logo. It opens up the QR code. I can just go to Authenticator and Login again, open that up, scan the QR code. It'll ask me, do you want to log in this account? I just tap the user, and it'll say a new password has been generated securely, and it automatically populates the fields with that information. You just hit login, and now we're back into the account where we were before. And you see I did not need to use my username or password anymore like I did previously. I just did it all through the app. Now let's go back to manage my account and go to login and security. So it says I'm currently not enrolled in 2FA, two-factor authentication. So let's go and click on that button there and select enroll in 2FA. It gives us two options here. We can use the Authenticator app, which we will, of course, with our DGMV-ID app. It also gives the option for text message. I recommend never using that. So we're going to turn on our Authenticator app, and here it provides us with a QR code and also an authenticator key at the bottom. So there's two ways to do this. Of course, we're going to scan the QR code. It's much easier, or you can manually input the authenticator key. But for here on the app, I want to slide over to 2FA generator. We'll open that up, and you can see also I have, there's 3 already there. So, but I got to create a new one. So I'll hit the plus sign on the bottom right, and it says create your two-factor authentication key. We'll hit QR scanner. We'll open up the camera. We'll scan the QR code, and we'll hit add two-factor authentication here at the bottom. And now it's added us. And now we want to click enter code on the website. So there's the field there for authentication code. Now I'm just going to tap on this one here at the bottom here. And there's the number there. So it's 895198. And we'll click turn on. So it says success. You have turned on two-factor authentication with the Authenticator app. So here we are. We have changed the login username and password using our DGMV-ID Password Generator. And we've also used a two-factor authentication from our DGMV-ID app here as well. But we're going to do one more step here, and this is to link the two together. And this will provide a really streamlined process, which I'm really excited about. So what we want to do first is let's go back to the main page on our DGMV-ID app, and let's go to password accounts. And I'll go back to SoCal Gas, and so where it says link to FA, you want to press that, and then we'll select the one at the very bottom. That's the latest one. So click link, and now they're linked. And what this does is it just makes it so much simpler to use the app with the website. So let's go back to the login page by logging out. Again, we're going to go back here to, we'll just click on this little icon here, then I'll open up the window. Let's go back to the main menu on the DGMV-ID app. We'll go to Authenticator Login, open up the camera, scan it. And we'll say, do you want to log into this? And as you see now, it says 2FA configured with a check mark next to it. So we know that that's been done. So I'm going to tap on that, and it's going to send the data across the DigiByte blockchain, and it automatically populates the fields here. So I'm going to hit login. Now it's going to say, hey, get your authentication code for your 2FA. So we just hit next. In this case, we can just open up our DGMV-ID extension here in Chrome, hit copy 2FA, go into the field, paste it, hit confirm, and now we're back into our account. You see this is a very streamlined process. It makes it very quick and easy to access these accounts. And one of the other things I really like about this app is that none of the data is stored centrally, either on any of the DigiCorp Labs servers or within the app or on the device itself. And that's not something that all authenticators can say or do. For example, I also use Google Authenticator from time to time, but there is risk. For example, if you sync your Google Authenticator with other devices, that data can be at risk. And what happens is that information can get stored in the cloud. And, once it's up there, then, anyone can get into that. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, I use authentication daily. We use Okta over at my day job. And, it's been pretty good for the most part, but they've run into some issues recently as well. They had a data breach through their support portal, where, some hackers got access to some information of one of their clients, completely unauthorized. So that's never good when that happens. Another issue that was pretty recent was, Okta went down for us where I work for about a little over a day. People couldn't access their email or get into the servers with all the media on it. And, this is really a big problem for a lot of people. Thankfully, I personally was already in the system. So once I was in, I was able to just stay in and not be directly affected. But, for those of us that, we've got, lots of deadlines looming, these aren't the kind of things that, you want to have to deal with. Work alone is, a lot of times that's difficult enough as it is. You don't need these kind of hurdles and roadblocks thrown in front of you where you can't even get into the system. Now, would an app such as DGMV-ID have prevented an issue like this? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know enough about this individual situation or how these things work behind the scenes to really give an honest assessment on that. But I do like the idea of having control of the app by owning my private keys. So I think that's going to be a big thing moving forward. Because it's going to move the pendulum a little bit more away from dependence upon these third-party companies, these organizations, and gives more control to the individual user. Now, the DGMV-ID suite is just one of a trio of new products coming out from DigiCorp Labs. Here we are at the DigiCorp Labs website, which is a subsidiary of DigiCorp Labs. They've also just announced the release of quantum secure solutions known as Edgebox. So I'm very excited to learn more about that. They also have recently announced peer-to-peer conferencing. Of course, we're all familiar with Zoom. Got really big during the lockdowns, and of course, it's stuck around too. So it's very convenient tool to use for voice-to-voice and site-to-site conversations. But how secure is it, and what happens to those videos once you hit end meeting? Those things. Do you want Zoom to control that, or do you want to control it on your own?
There's also a new website in development for DigiCorp Labs and should be launched soon, so keep an eye out for that.
Well, that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you really enjoyed the information provided and had an opportunity to see some of the app in action and how to use it. If you got any questions, make sure to just reach out to the team or put your comments down below, and we'll put links to everything that we discussed in this video. And as always, if you're not right with DigiByte, you're doing it wrong. Thanks. Have a great day.